And then they ended up getting married until today. Now they're happily married, they've got beautiful children, and it all has worked out fantastically for him, and I'm really, really pleased for him. Hi, it's Suman Mangra here, and I'm back again with the Manifesting Stories series. So today I'm sharing a story about manifesting love, and the story is to do with one of the clients that I've had, and I'm going to call him Raj, and this is for privacy and anonymity reasons, as the person has requested that their personal details be anonymized. And on that note, if there's a story you'd like to send in but you don't want to give your name or your details, that's absolutely fine. Please do send the stories in. I absolutely love sharing them. So many years ago, Raj reached out to me because he was struggling to find a life partner, and on paper he had everything going for him. He was kind, successful, educated, great career, lovely family, but despite all of that, relationship after relationship, it just wasn't working out for him. What really stood out was his mindset at the time. He was becoming really frustrated because people around him were getting married. This happens a lot in our lives, as we notice. And I remember him saying about his cousin getting married and his friends are getting married. Why is it happening to everyone else but me? And he was comparing himself to others and feeling quite bitter about it as well, because when he went to these weddings and functions, they'd also ask him, why are you not married? And that also kind of triggered him. So I asked him something that changed his perspective, and I said, well, imagine it was your wedding and your family members were coming to your wedding. What energy would you want them to bring? And then he said, well, I want them to be genuinely happy for me, celebrating me, wishing me a lifetime of happiness. And then I said, that's exactly the same energy you need to be giving to those family and friends functions you're going to. So instead of going with resentment, which originally he didn't even want to go to this function, he chose to go with love and celebration, genuine happiness for the other person's success, as if he's received it himself. So when he came back afterwards, he couldn't believe the difference it made. He said it was one of the best events he'd actually been to. People were complimenting him, telling him how well he looked, how lovely he was, even saying some things like, any woman would be lucky to marry you. And he realised the world was reflecting back the energy he was putting out. So this became a really good turning point for him to see that, like manifesting that in itself. After that, when we started working together properly, every day he'd use affirmations. So things like, I'm so happy and grateful, I'm happily married to an amazing wife. And then I asked him to write a letter as well from his future self describing his married life as though it's already happened. So this is a technique I do with my clients. When I read his first draft, I did notice that it was all about what he'd do for his future wife and not much to do with what she'd bring to balance out the relationship. And I just said, be careful, you don't accidentally manifest something who expects everything from you. You know, you might end up manifesting a princess type. So he rewrote it and he made sure he balanced it out and made sure there was support and appreciation on both sides. He also became much more open-minded rather than just waiting for love to arrive. He started living like someone who'd already received the love, or he'd meet someone interesting and start conversations with them, ask them out for coffees and things like that, rather than shutting himself off if they didn't meet the tick box requirements, what he wanted in a person. And he also made his parents join in as well. His mum would happily say things like, I can't wait to meet my wonderful daughter-in-law, she's on her way. So within 2 months, everything changed for him, literally 2 months. Imagine, for years, this guy had been trying. So through his family connections, he's met an incredible woman then who matched almost everything he'd written down in what he wanted in a woman, from her age to her background and just the way she looked and things like that. And then they ended up getting married until today. Now they're happily married, they've got beautiful children, and it all has worked out fantastically for him. And I'm really, really pleased for him. Years later, he's also told me something I'll never forget. And he used to laugh about the student becoming the master, because he still uses the same manifestation techniques that was taught to him at the time whenever he wants to create anything in this life. And this has opened him up to massive career opportunities, travel opportunities, finance opportunities, the works. So for me, this is the biggest lesson of the story. Manifestations, not just affirmations, it's changing the energy you're bringing into the world around you. Celebrating other people's success as though that success has come to you, instead of comparing and falling in the comparison trap. And believing your own moment is coming and taking that aligned action when opportunities appear. So sometimes the shift is all it takes for life to begin reflecting something completely differently back to you. So I hope this story has inspired you And if you'd like to work with me, please do get in touch. If you'd like to send your story in to me, it's either DM me through the platform or email me at suman@manifestationmaven.co.uk.